Uh,
Hello. You are very, very welcome to our live stream today, our Facebook Live. Today we are talking about cooking tips for busy parents. I'm just waiting for a few viewers to join on, and then once they join, we will start. Meanwhile, we are doing this as Baby Child and Co. So if you have never met me, my name is Dr. Sarah Mwodwi. I'm trying now to share to my page, and once I'm able to share, then we go on. My internet is slow. Wow. My internet is slow. So Baby Child and Co is an organization that does child health education, mainly online. But if you want us to talk somewhere, you can let us know and we'll come and do it for you. We talk about everything that has to do with the health of your child, anything that has to do with the health of your child, right from late pregnancy, delivery, newborn issues, toddlerhood to school age. We do this by blogging, by YouTube videos, and we are on Facebook as well, which is where you are meeting us. My name is Dr. Sarah Modri. That is if you haven't met me before. Today we have a very, very, very interesting, fabulous guest for you. And I'm just going to introduce her in a bit. I'm still struggling with my internet. I'm still struggling with my internet. Okay. Yes. So if you log on, please say hi, please say hello. Your comments are welcome. Your questions are welcome. We'll show them on screen. And whatever you have to say, whatever comments, we like it. And please let us know also where you are watching us from. Now, my guest is Sianoki. I hope I have said it right.
yes.
She's a food blogger and a clinical psychologist. Her channel is Dine with Sianoki. So if you haven't seen her channel, right from here, you go and see, you subscribe, you like your videos, you share her videos. She does a lot of interesting recipes that you can do at home. Most of them are pretty simple. You can do them at home. You can share them with your loved ones. And so I'm still just waiting for one or two people to join, and then we can start. Okay, we have Joyce who has joined us as usual. She says, hello, good to be here. Hi, Joyce. Hi, Joyce. Please share to your pages for us. Okay, we are still waiting for a few people, but I think we can start. So, hi, Gloria, Sianoki. Hi.
Hi, Doc.
Good to have you. So we are doing
Thanks.
this because we believe that normally or ordinarily, home cooked meals are better for us in terms of our pockets. And then we know that fast food consumption may lead to overweight and obesity. It's not a must that once you consume fast food, it leads to overweight and obesity, but the risk is higher if you take a lot of fast food. I mean, once a while, or maybe on a Sunday or a celebration is fine if you're just doing it once a while. But if every day you are eating fast food, then that's a problem. So we just want to make it easier we know that they are very busy parents. We are combining businesses with our regular work, with childcare, with everything. And so if we can make it easier for you to have your home cooked meals, then that's better for you, for your pocket, and probably for your health as well. It's not a must anyway, but probably for your health as well. So I'm talking a lot. I'm going to give the floor to Sianoki to show what she has, what she wants to teach us for free. If you have a question, if you have a comment, leave it and then we'll attend to it for you. So hello.
Hi. Okay, thank you so much for the amazing introduction. Thank you for having me on your platform. I'm very happy to be here, very excited to be here. So as she rightly said, we are coming to talk about some tips that we believe that can help, busy parents or even busy individuals, in all. And please, as we go on, feel free to stop me. Feel free to let me pause anytime you want me to. Then remove. So the very first thing I would want to talk about is to encourage people to invest in a freezer. Okay, that is very important because for you, before we talk about any meal prep or anything at all, you should have the means to be able to store them. So last year, I oh no, 2 years ago, we are in 2022. So in 2020, I took the advantage of Black Friday, during that sales period, and I invested in a deep freezer because I had the tabletop one. Is it a tabletop one? The one that has the fridge and then the freezer.
I know what's going.
Yeah. Is it double decker? Yeah. So with that, we're not able to prepare a lot of meals and all. So we invested in that. So I would encourage anyone watching that I believe that that's something you can invest in if you want to save food, if you want to save money. Yeah, you should invest in getting an affordable freezer. Some of them are even less expensive than the phones we use. So yeah. The other thing that I'll talk about is to buy in bulk. Buying in bulk saves a lot of money. For instance, I go to the market once in 3 weeks or 4 weeks. So that means that I go to the market just once in a month, and that way I'm able to buy in bulk and I'm able to save money. So when you go to the market, you need to figure out where you can get fresh produce to buy and build good rapport with the traders, such that they expect you and they know that, oh, at this time this person will come. So I have the vendors I buy from. Sometimes when they know that, oh, I'm coming, they actually leave my stuff for me. They leave my veggies and things for me. So even if I'm late, I'm able to pick them up. So you can build that rapport whenever you're going to the market. Go to places. Sometimes when we go to the market, we just go run, buy quickly, and then we go. But then you want to go deep a bit into the market, find places where you can buy things at affordable prices. Where I usually buy my stuff, Texpo in Springtons, people see that as an expensive place. But if you go there on a Saturday, there's a place within that same market that people actually bring stuff from the villages. And other people come and then, buy in bulk and then they go and sell. So that is where I go. So you have to look at the places around you, the places that approximate to your market, where you can actually get stuff to buy like that. Okay. So now we've talked about getting all your things in bulk. What do you do when you come? Right now you have everything, and then you also have to take advantage of.
Getting stuff in bulk. How do you manage your the vegetables? Let's say you're buying lettuce, carrots. How do you manage that?
Exactly. So I was coming right to that. So once you buy in bulk, it means that you have to know how you are going to store them. So very, very important. Let me demonstrate with this lettuce. I have this lettuce here that I
Okay.
got from the market. This lettuce, as you can see, it is 2 weeks going on to 3 weeks.
Whoa.
And it's still looking so fresh. I just picked it from
Wow.
the fruit. Yes, looking so fresh. So when I got it from the market, I didn't even wash it. They sell it with the roots. If you are going to buy, some of them don't have the roots. So if you go to the local market, you want to look for the ones with the roots. Okay, so when you come, don't take it off or anything. Just put them in these plastic bags. We call the
Okay.
loan carabes that you
Yeah,
find
the
in
ordinary
our
one.
local market.
Yeah.
And then in your fridge, you know that there's this place that you draw
Okay.
to open. That is where I keep this, and it's able to last me for 3 to 4 weeks until I go to the market the next time. I
Okay.
have the lettuce. And last time when I went to the market to get this, it's actually in season. I think I got about three of this. When I tried it, I got about three of these for 5 cities. So there are times you go and this is just one of this is 5 cities, or depending on who you go. As I said, I go to the places where they buy, to go and sell. So I'm able to get them at very affordable. So you're eating very healthy, but then you are saving money.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
when
So
I have
Just a
Mm-hmm.
minute. Let me say hi to my friends who have joined. Albert is watching us from Second D. Delhi Koba says hi. Hi back. Hi back. Thank you for joining. Please share to your pages for me as well. And I just want to understand, when you buy the lettuce, what do you do to it before it goes into your polythene?
So I don't do anything at all to it. I
You
don't
don't do
even wash
anything.
it. Nothing.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I only wash it when I'm about to use it with
Okay.
vinegar infused water
Okay.
or salt or lemon, depending on what I have.
Okay.
So if I don't have vinegar, there's lemon. If I don't have lemon, there's salt. So I only wash it. If you wash it, if there's moisture around it, after some time you notice that it starts, getting
Yeah.
spots,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and getting soft. So if I buy it, sometimes when you buy it, the market women they to keep it fresh, they have water around it. So I
Okay.
just shake the lettuce for the excess water, to get off, and then I put it in there. So that's what
Okay.
I do. And I do the same for my carrots. As for the carrots, usually I like the the ones that they bag. They are sweeter.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know that is the foreign type.
Okay.
they are
Okay. Okay.
usually they are sweeter. So when I buy it, I just keep it in the bag like that. And then when I want to use it, I take one. That's also able to last for long, four
Okay.
weeks or more. So that's the
Okay.
same strategy. The fridge that we have, the drawer that is there, let's take advantage and store your fruit and veggies over there. Like this is bell pepper, red bell pepper.
Okay.
Ideally, when you go to the malls, these are very expensive. But I was able to
Okay.
get this. I
Yeah.
was able to get it
Your
at my
choice. Yeah.
local at my local market. All these three for 5 cedis.
Okay.
Meanwhile, when you go to the mall, when you buy a bell pepper, one can just be like 15 cedis or more. So
Wow.
yes, when I buy them, then so that's what I do. Even with my beetroot, I like beetroot a lot. So even with my beetroot, I do the same thing to it. Just make sure that there's no moisture around them. Then I put them there. Now, another thing. I hope I can move on.
For the vegetables, I think that if there are parents that like gardening, then they could as well plant some of the ones that are especially easy to garden. Yes, because me personally,
Exactly.
I garden them. And so
Yeah.
sometimes I put them straight and I find that it saves a lot of time because then I don't have to go to the market. But of course, if you want to store it, this is a very great way to do it, as Yanoki has said. I'm really surprised that her lettuce stays in the fridge for up to 3 weeks. I'm,
Yes,
I'm really
yes.
surprised. Yeah.
You can give it a try and see. And that's amazing for you to garden. Gardening is very therapeutic as well. It keeps you busy, like not just busy, but it's something like a leisure. So I'm actually glad you are doing that. It I
All right.
started
Let's talk
I
about food.
no, but food is gardening.
I hear you.
You can plant some of the stuff anyway, because
Yeah.
yeah, I've planted some sweet potatoes, and then the leaves are very nutritious. They are very good. You can use for salad, you can use for your stew, just like the way you do consomme. So yeah, it's all part of it. And then um if I move, can I move ahead?
Sure, sure, sure.
Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is um another ways that we can store our food. These are fresh produce, right? But if they are stuff that we know that they cannot be in the fridge for long, what do we do with them? And then I want to talk about tomato sauce or tomato paste, how we can do some at home at our own convenience. That way we even know what is in there.
Okay.
So sometimes when
Yeah,
tomatoes are
really, it's very important to know what is in the food you are eating. So I'm glad that
exactly,
you offered to talk to us about tomatoes because sometimes, I mean, these things are not so straightforward. I'm not saying like if you eat a lot of canned fruits, you are going to fall sick, but
yeah,
sometimes the preservatives that are in the foods, and then sometimes to them, there's a lot of to prolong the shelf life. Okay, so that's the preservative, but sometimes the added things like the added sugar, the added salt may be
yeah.
too much over a long period. So I'm not saying that like preserved or canned things are not good, but sometimes it's just good that you know what goes into your food. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then let me
yeah,
also take
yeah.
this opportunity to say hello to some friends. Dumefia has said hi, Emmanuel Francis Ose, and then Benis. Hi, Benis. And then Emmy Gem Fabrics has also joined us, says that we are doing a good job. So thank you all for joining. Please
you.
share. So once you join, kindly share to your pages so that we get more audience and then people also hear what we are talking about. Because if nobody hears, then nobody is benefiting and what we are doing is not making an impact. So we are very happy that you have joined. And if she says anything that you want an explanation or clarification on, kindly just leave a message and then we would draw her attention to it and she's going to answer it for you. All right.
Okay, thank you. So, as I was saying, sometimes I take advantage of the seasons. There
Okay.
are certain crops that are seasonal. So we're talking about
Okay.
tomatoes. So
Okay.
when I notice that they are in season, I just go and buy, a lot. And then
Okay.
what I do is that I add some beetroot. This is beetroot. Beetroot has this red color as well, and
Yeah.
it's also very healthy. And then some red bell pepper.
Okay.
Okay. And then if you want, this really depends on you. You can even add onions, pepper, garlic, and ginger. So what I do is that I just wash the tomatoes. I get a big saucepan. I put the tomatoes in there without even adding any water. Tomato is very juicy.
Yeah.
So the juice in the tomatoes in itself will be extracted. So as it's boiling down, when it's almost there, then I add in the rest of the ingredients because I wouldn't want the beetroot to be overcooked. So I add
Okay.
the beetroot, I add the bell peppers, and then maybe some scotch bonnet pepper, hot pepper, and then onions, ginger, garlic.
What's it
Okay.
called? What's the hot pepper called?
Scotch bonnet pepper.
Really? Okay.
Yes. So I add all that, and then when it's all cooked, okay, so like by the time the water had reduced drastically, as time goes on, you just be stirring the tomatoes, you notice that the water is evaporating. Okay, so by the time it reduces to a certain point, all you have to do is to let it cool and then you blend. Once you blend, you have your tomato sauce, and you've put all these things in it. So it's going to make cooking very easy for you. It has your pepper, it has your ginger, it has your garlic, has everything. So maybe when you want to cook, you can just fry some little onions in the oil and then add your tomato. By the time you realize food is ready. So when tomatoes are in season, I do that and then I put them in my freezer. That is how come I was encouraging that you invest in
Yeah.
a freezer. I've also seen some very creative ways of keeping them in these mason jars that
Okay.
can actually last for a year. I am going to try that myself when tomatoes come in season. So that way you don't even have to put it in your fridge. Just this, glass containers that we put our shito in them. There's a way that you can put it in it, put it in boiling water, take them out, and you can store them on your shelf, and it can last for about a year. So
Okay.
for me, when tomatoes is out of season, I don't I don't have to, worry myself a lot because I have my already made tomato sauce. The whole of 2021, I've never purchased tomato paste. Not because I have anything against it, but I really enjoyed making this myself. It's
Yeah.
like you invest the
Yeah.
time, just spend some few hours to do this, and then you enjoy
Yeah.
the rest of the season. And it will amaze you how nice it is, especially if you add a beetroot to it. The beetroot, you don't have to add a lot. Just a little goes a long way. It gives you the beautiful color, and then
Yeah.
the taste is also amazing. If they
Yeah.
try it, they will testify themselves. they may
Yeah. Can
they
you
may
can
not.
you take us through the process of keeping them in the mason jars? Because I believe that there's a way you do it to be sure that sometimes the jar is contaminated and then you put your very good food in it and then it decreases how long it can stay. And then can you keep it only half full? Does it have to be full? Can you take us through that?
Okay. So with the mason jar, first of all, as you rightly said, you have to sterilize it before you use it, because if you are
And
going to
how
keep
do
it
you
for very
sterilize it? How do you sterilize
exactly. So you can boil water. Okay, first of all, make sure it's washed, it's nicely cleaned, and then you boil your water, and then put a colander over the water. So when you put a colander over it, you can just turn the mason jars facing down. Do you get me? The opening will be facing the steam. So the steam will just go in there and then sterilize the bottles nicely for you.
Okay.
So once that is done, after you are done preparing, after you
I
are done,
really wish you could show us what you mean by a mason jar. Do you have
oh,
any around?
okay, yes, actually, I have something.
Okay.
I have something that is similar. This is longer than it. This is a
Oh,
mixed
okay.
spice,
So that's
but
what you mean.
it's a glass.
Okay. Okay.
It's,
So
it's,
that's what
it's,
you
it's
mean.
yes, it's a glass. Usually we put our shito in them when you're going to
Yes.
school. Those
Yes.
containers that you put shito
So
and
the sheet
things in.
container. Okay.
Usually they have this red covering, most of them, but not all the time. Yeah.
Okay.
So any container that has a tight lid cover, a
Okay.
tight, you should be able to cover it tightly, not plastic.
Please continue. I'm going out of shots just for a minute.
Sure, sure. So as I was saying, so we can use that, or when you are done um cooking the tomatoes and everything, you just blend it, you let it cool, and then you can store in this plastic containers. These days when you go to weddings and other stuff, because of COVID, food is usually packed. So you have
Yeah.
this plastic,
Yes. Yes.
containers.
Yes.
I have a
Yes.
lot of them.
Yes.
You
Yes.
can just pour in them and also keep in the freezer. And as long as they are frozen, they'll be safe for you. So
Okay.
anytime you are ready to use, you just take it out, let it thaw, and
Okay.
then you use it for your meal preparations.
Okay.
So that is how
Okay.
easy that could
So
be.
Albert
Yeah.
said he was very much interested in ways to preserve fresh tomatoes. I hope, Albert, we have explained enough. If you have any questions, please leave them down there again, and then I'll ask her, and she will answer your questions for you. And thank you so much for your interest. All right, please
Yeah.
continue.
Okay, even with the fresh tomatoes too, for you to be able to keep it for like 2 or 3 weeks too. When you buy it, if you like, don't wash it, because when you're coming to use it, you can wash it, because the whole thing is that when there's moisture around it, it tends to get damaged early or get spoiled early. So when you bring it from the market, you can just use a dry tissue paper to clean around the tomatoes.
Okay.
Clean it, make sure that there's no water around it. If you observe, anytime you go to the market, the tomato sellers don't want water around their tomatoes. It's
Oh,
always
really?
dry. Yes,
Really?
because
Oh, okay.
once once it is dry, it's able to last longer for them in case people do not buy on time.
Okay. Okay.
So just make sure that there's no. So I clean it. You can clean it with a clean napkin or a kitchen paper towel. And then you can also bag it like the way you bag I demonstrated the lettuce, like
Okay.
that, and then put it
Okay.
in that drawer for a
Okay.
week or two. You have some
Okay.
fresh tomatoes that you can
Okay.
be using. Yeah.
Okay. So for the tomatoes, the one that you put in the mason jars, I don't know whether this is a good time to show some of the pictures. Is it
Yes, yes, it is. It is. I think it's a good time for them to see.
okay? So I'm sharing a slide. I just want to show you. So if you can tell us what this is, how you got that
Okay,
shape.
so this thing is Keller Willis spice blend. This is Keller Willis
Oh,
spice,
oh,
and
okay.
this is also going to make cooking easy. We can talk about this. This
Okay.
has pepper, it
Let
has
me just show
ginger.
the tomatoes. Let me just show the tomatoes.
Okay, sure,
Okay.
sure,
So
sure.
this is your
So that
tomatoes.
that is that is the tomato mix. Just a
All
second,
right.
Sarah.
All right. All right.
Okay, sorry, I'm back.
All right.
So yeah, as you can see the color, nothing has been added to it. It's just the beetroot that has given us this beautiful color. Yeah, so this is, just tomatoes, beetroot, some bell peppers. The bell peppers too, they are very nice. They give it this nice and sweet taste. Yeah, so you have all that in there as well. So yeah, this is
Okay.
our tomato paste.
And this is still tomato.
Yeah, still tomato sauce. So
Okay.
if you want it to be a paste, you just cook it for a longer period. Sometimes I do the sauce because when I'm cooking, I just want to cook it a bit. But then if you want it to be the paste, you just cook it, for longer until all the liquid in it evaporates.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's something about tomatoes. I feel that sometimes people try to look for shortcuts to, reduce their cooking time. So what they do is that they drain the liquid in the tomatoes before they go through that process. What happens when you do that is that the taste changes. I've noticed that it won't taste the same, it won't taste nice. So you may you need the juice of the tomatoes to make the tomatoes taste nice. So if you think that you are buying time and then you just squeeze out all the juices in it, you end up with some stew that you will not love. Yeah.
All right. So, is there anything else you want to show us? Hi, hi, hi. Those who are just joining us, please leave a comment, leave a hi. Tell us where you are watching from. Even if you just join us, even if you are watching on replay, just say hello to us. If you have a question, you leave it even after the live stream, and we will answer it for you. So, and please don't forget to share, because we can only make an impact if you share, so that we reach a larger audience. So, Sianoki from Dine with Sianoki, if you have not been to her YouTube channel, you should go and subscribe and click on the notification, so that when she uploads a video, you will get to know. Same way, if you haven't been to the Baby Child and Co YouTube channel, you should go there and see the many educative things that we talk about. Everything that has to do with your child or your baby, we want to talk about it. So if there's even something we haven't talked about, you let us know, and then we will address it for you. Yes, so thank you for joining. Sianoki, we are back to you.
Thank you. So, the next thing that I also want to talk about, because we are looking out for tips that will make cooking easy, is making sure that you all have some cubes, ice cube containers.
Okay.
And sometimes when you buy your fridge, you have some in there already. But if you don't have it, it's very affordable at the malls and the markets, because they are plastics. Now, this is very helpful in making cooking very easy. If you like stuff like kelewele, you like stuff like kakro, or farm, tatale, those things, the spices that we use for those things are basically the same. So I'm coming to talk about kelewele spice mix. Okay. Yeah. So with the kelewele spice mix, usually what we use for kelewele is some pepper, some ginger, local spices, especially calabash nutmeg. There's that local spice that is round like nutmeg. Calabash, they call it, I think, African calabash nutmeg. And then what do you call it? Those things that they call in tree, wintia pepper, cloves, negro pepper, all those local spices. Most of the vendors, they know them. So even if you are confused, when you go to the market and you tell them that, oh, you're going to prepare kelewele, they will actually select the spices for you. But by all means, make sure you have some calabash nutmeg, because it makes the difference. It gives you the street style kelewele taste. Yeah, so what you have to do is to blend all these ingredients that I have stated together. The pepper really depends on how spicy you want it. So once you are done blending, just put them in this ice cube containers. And then you can just, after you put them in it, you can just cover with a cling film. Or anything any rubber or anything that you can tie, so that it does not spill in the freezer, or the smell of it does not overwhelm other dishes in the freezer. So when you use a film, it's better. It keeps it very tight. It absorbs all the fragrances in it. So once it's frozen, you take it out, and then you just you notice that it is frozen. And then as soon as you take it out of it, you just bag it immediately, and then put it right back into the freezer.
So that is what looks like this.
Exactly. So this is kelewele spice blend. You can use for afro, you can use for tatale, you can. So anytime you want to make some kelewele, you just take it out, let it thaw. If you forget to take it out, all you have to do is to just microwave it for a minute or two, and then it thaws. And then you cut your plantain, you put it around it, you fry, you have your kelewele. Easy. So it's not now that you're now coming to go through all the process of grinding and just blend and use this. Okay,
Yeah.
so that same process you can use for all your spice blend.
Okay.
Any you do your cooking, so you know the kind of things you like. So maybe if you are going to steam your meat and you use onions, ginger, garlic, you can just blend them, put them in these cubes, and then use the same process. So anytime you are coming to steam your meat, it's just a matter of taking some of the cubes and putting them over your meat. Makes cooking very easy. Yeah, and saves a lot of time. So the next one again. So every other thing. So you notice that there's another picture that is green. So I call that basil spice blend. So that one, all I did was to add, these leaves, sometimes they don't really keep long. They are very, very tiny, and sometimes they have moisture in them. So we are not able to store them for long. So what happens is you can just blend them. So apart from this basil spice blend, there was some that I did basil, I did mint, and then parsley, all those herbs. I put them together, added some ginger, some garlic, and some green pepper, blended them, used the same process to achieve this. So this is also one spice that anytime you are coming to cook, you just take one or two and then you put them in your dishes and then you are good to go. So very
Very,
easy.
very interesting. I'm really getting a lot of tips that will make cooking easy. You do half the work even before you begin to cook. So thank you so
Exactly.
much. Yes. If you have questions, if you have comments, let us know. Sena Duku has given us a love, a heart. Yay, we like
Thank
that.
you.
She has also joined. She told me she'll join and she has joined. She has sent us a like. Thank you. Please share. And if you have any questions about how anything that can make cooking easy or anything that she has said that you want clarification on, please leave it in the comment section and I will make sure that she answers it for you. Yes.
Okay. So, okay.
So we are back to you.
Okay. So another thing that we have to do is to plan, meal plan is very important. Sometimes you wake up and you're like, hey, today what are we going to eat? You don't even know what you are going
That
to eat.
can take you even 10 minutes.
Exactly. Or more. It can be a whole headache.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very important that you plan ahead, have a meal plan. If it's possible, you can actually draft a timetable. If it's that much of a struggle for you, you can draft a timetable, put the meals that you want to have each day, but every now and then just be switching it up with things so that it does not become boring and monotonous, if that's the right word. Yeah, so it's very important that we meal plan. And when you meal plan to, if possible, prep in bulk. Take one day, one Saturday or one Sunday, prep your meals and then put them in the fridge or the freezer, and then it will save you a lot of time. So that it's going to be a busy week. You go to work in the morning, so okay, what are we having on Monday? Ghanaians, we have rice, banku yam, and all of that. So are you going to prepare contemporary stew? Are we going to have contemporary stew this week? Okay, let's prepare something like that. Is it tomato stew? Is it with chicken? Is it with beef? And then by this time you already have your tomato sauce. So preparing it, if you are preparing a lot of food, it's not so stressful, because you have your tomato sauce already, which is partially made. You have your spices. You don't now have to cut onions and things. It's already there. Just put them together, prep in bulk, and then put in the freezer. One other tip that will help you, is to clean as you go. Sometimes you are done cooking and then you see the mess, the bowls and everything, and then you are discouraged, like you are just tired, and it doesn't really motivate you to cook. But whenever you are doing something, clean as you go. By the time you are done cooking, you are done cleaning, and that would also save you a lot of time. So that is something and that we should note. And then your
We have
spice.
Maslin, we have Maslin who says that she really agrees with you to prep in bulk. Mavis is telling us that she decided to make time and join us. Yay! Now we are back to tomatoes because we all like tomatoes. Ahmed said that he likes eating raw tomatoes, but nowadays when he takes raw tomatoes, most of them taste sour. So he doesn't find it nice to eat. He asked, "Is there anything you can do to your tomatoes to make them taste better?"
Okay, so first of all, you need to get a good source. As I said, once you build a good rapport with the person, you'll be able to notice that whenever I get my tomatoes from this person, it's nice and I stick to the person. Now, another thing is that these tomatoes, like they are very tiny. Let me see if I can bring one out. It's called, most of the time, I think cherry tomatoes. You find them on our local markets. They are really, really tiny. People don't respect these tomatoes when they see them.
Okay,
They feel
okay,
that it is very small. But this is the
okay,
tomato that I usually use for my sauce. It is sweet. It is
okay,
very tiny, but it is so
okay,
sweet.
okay,
So this is one that I watch out for anytime I am making the tomato sauce in bulk. I always go for these tiny ones unless they are not available. Yes,
great.
so he should look out for that one. And then the beetroot, as I said, that if he's not able to find any of these, the beetroot is always sweet. You know, beetroot is sweet. So beetroot and then bell peppers are also sweet, the red ones. So if he's able to get these two and add to the tomatoes, it's going to change the taste and make it nicer.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much for that answer. All right. So we are back to you where you were before we
Yes,
rudely interrupted you.
exactly. Oh no, that's fine. I want to also talk about making your own homemade spices. Okay, because we are talking about like healthy eating and all. It's also, as we said, knowing what you have in your spices.
Yeah, yeah.
So I made a trip to the market. I went to interview a lady. She was talking to me about the spices, what they use them for, and everything. So I came back, read around them, and then picked my own spices. So this has coriander, which is very healthy. It has
Okay.
cumin. It
How
has
I wish you had the various spices to show us. You don't happen to have any
oh
around, right?
yeah. Unfortunately, I've blended everything.
Okay, okay, okay,
Yes. So
okay,
it's quite unfortunate. I wish I had but I mean, when they go to the market, it's very easy to identify, or they even search online. It's very easy to identify coriander, cumin, some rosemary. That's what I used for this spice. And when I came home, all I needed to do was to toss it a bit in the frying pan, just dry
okay,
toss.
okay.
Roasting it a bit.
So I'm just going to write the spices you mentioned in the comment section so that
Okay,
anyone who wants to write it down can
sure.
do so. Coriander, cumin, and
Coriander, cumin, rosemary, and fennel seeds.
okay, and fennel seed. Okay,
Yes,
cumin, rosemary, and fennel
yes.
seeds. Okay. All right.
It
So
really
you just
smells so good. It
okay.
smells so, so good. The
Okay.
coriander, this one, when you add turmeric and ginger to it, you get curry powder.
Okay.
You get your own
Oh, okay.
homemade curry powder. Yeah, when you add ginger and turmeric to it, you get your homemade curry powder. So, with these ones, when you buy them, all you have to do is to roast them in your pan. Okay, what
Okay.
is going to do is to take out any excess moisture, and
Okay.
then also activate the oils and the fragrances in them. So
Oh,
once
okay.
you are done roasting them, all you have to do is to blend them using your dry mill. Most of the blenders that we have, they have, the bigger one and then the smaller one, which is used for blending dry stuff. So all
Okay.
you have to do is just to blend them, and then here you are, your own homemade spice. If
Okay.
you want curry powder, you just add some turmeric to this.
So it's
And
okay.
yes, and with the turmeric, you can even
You
make
don't
your
happen
own
to
now.
have some turmeric around, do you?
Oh, I
Okay.
do. I
So,
do, but
so let me
oh,
take you out of shots and then you go and bring it. Is that okay?
okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, do take me out of shot.
Okay, all right. So I have a comment from Maslin. Maslin is asking whether most of our local market women know the names of these spices because she doesn't know the true name of the spices. Well, I mean, where I go to the market, actually the spices are even labeled in English. It's surprising. It's not a supermarket, but it's labeled in English, and you can You can even read it for yourself. So a lot of them know the names. A lot of them know the English names, and if you ask them, they will show you what they do. And in fact, some of them will even tell you what they do. Somebody was telling me just yesterday about cinnamon sticks. Was telling me, and I was just, because I'm a bit of a nutrition how do you call it, a nutrition enthusiast, so I read a lot about these spices. But I just stood there and she was telling me, oh, turmeric will do this for you, turmeric will do this for you, I mean cinnamon will do this for you, and that. So a lot of them also know something about it, what it can do for your health, and so on and so forth. Yes, so Sianoki is back to show us um to show
Summary.
us, yes, to show us turmeric, so that we are sure that we all know what it is. Yes.
Okay, so it's a root plant. It's just
Okay.
like ginger,
Okay.
but it has a yellow. When you go into it, you notice that it is yellow.
Okay.
So usually the vendors who sell ginger, they sometimes have turmeric. It's
Okay.
not very popular on our Ghanaian local markets.
Okay.
Very few people have it. Yes, so that is it. But if you
Okay.
find it difficult to get this, you can get the already made powder.
Okay.
Uh-huh. But
Okay.
sometimes I just get this because I want the fresh one. And then you can actually dry this. It's very easy to dry ginger and turmeric. It's very easy. You can just cut them into small pieces, dry them, and then once they are dry, you can just blend them into powder. You don't even have to, peeling ginger is very stressful. Peeling ginger and turmeric is very stressful. So with these two, what you have to do, you can just wash them thoroughly and then just dry them with the skin. And once they are ready, once you are done blending them, you can just sieve it. But with turmeric too, it stains a lot because of the color. So you have to be very careful. If you are not careful, by the time you realize your white stuff and everything, so if you are using this, make sure they are not putting this on a white tray or something. It stains a lot. You can mess up it. And if you don't want your blender to be yellow for a long time, then
So there was this interesting thing you did with yam that you prepped for frying with turmeric, and I
oh
totally
yes,
loved it.
yes,
I totally loved it because I love turmeric. Turmeric is anti-inflammatory. Turmeric is
yeah, yeah,
something that can fight to an extent a lot of these age-related diseases that we have. You can
yeah,
actually just drink it. You can add it to your soups, your stews. You can use it to give that bright yellow color to whatever food that you are
yeah,
preparing. And then
yeah,
Turmeric did something with yam, so I just give her a chance to talk about it. Yam and turmeric
yeah,
is so lovely. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So um this is how the powder also looks. I hope I'm in short. Very yellow. So in
Okay.
case you don't get the root plant, you can get the powder, which is very yellow. So with the yam, that's also one great way that we can use to store our yams. Usually yams are also quite seasonal, and then when we have them in bulk, you buy it. By the time you cut one, um next time when you want to eat it, the rest of it's all gone bad. Okay.
Yeah.
So once you are done taking what you want to take out of it, all you have to do is to peel the yam, cut into the sizes that you want. If you are going to boil it, you cut it to the size according to the way you want to boil it. If you are going to fry it, the same process. Now, when you are done, just make sure that you drain all the water from the yam. Make sure that all the water, okay, okay, first of all, you wash it well, wash it the first time, and then the second time when you are washing it, add the turmeric powder to it, to the water. So the water turns yellow. What happens is that, sometimes yam, they discolor after some time when you leave it out there. But with the addition of turmeric, it resolves this problem of discoloration. So, and as he said, it has a lot of good benefits for us as well. So what happens is that when you soak it in the turmeric water, you can leave it for about 30 minutes to an hour. And by the time you come back, it would have absorb all the color, give you that beautiful color. Even when you fry, sometimes you eat with your eyes before you you eat with your yeah. So that's what's going to happen. So once you take it out of the turmeric infused water, put it in your colander, let the water drain completely. Make sure that the water drains completely, and then you bag it and put it in your freezer. Okay, what happens is that if the water does not drain completely, they'll be stuck to each other. But you want individual pieces of yam. Okay, so once you put it in the freezer, when you are ready to have it, say frying, you make sure that your oil is very hot, and then you take it right from the freezer into the oil. You don't let it thaw, and it even makes your yam it's much more crispier than even if you fry it when it's fresh. So you are not only storing your yam, you are getting the beautiful color, and you are getting some crispy yam as well, and you are saving some time, because once you put it in the freezer, maybe you close from work, oh today I feel like having some fried yam, you just put your oil, take it, you don't now
And then
have to come and
yeah,
put the
yeah,
water,
yeah.
then fry.
So it
So
has just
that's
occurred to me that there are all these natural ways of coloring our food. You know, there are all these
exactly.
natural, and they have a lot of health benefits. You can color
Yeah,
your tomato paste with beetroot. You can color
beetroot.
anything that you want to look yellow for you to pop yellow. You can add turmeric to it. If you want a
Yeah,
green tea to something, you can consider using the bell peppers and so on. So there are all these natural ways, and you know, we want our children to eat healthy. So these are
yeah,
things that we can actually try at home. And I mean, these are things, you know what it is exactly that you are using. It's not something that, I mean, a lot of us, we can't even read the ingredients. When you look at the pack, that's in all these compound names, chemical names, you don't know what it is, but we are buying and eating, you know. So this is a
exactly.
good thing that we can actually do at home. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess that is it. And then there I have some herbs too that I have blended over here. Yeah, it's almost done. And you know this thing, sorry, with the coriander and everything that I've spoken about, I've had this since last year, middle of last year. So it can last really for long, and just a little bit of it goes a long way. And then it gives you a variety of flavors with your food, so you can explore other ones. And I when I was going, I heard you saying that, asking whether some of the market women, they know their names. Some of them don't know, but then we have to, as you are learning right now, you can just see the pictures online. Then when you go, you point it to them, they know the local names, but it will amaze you, most of them know it. They actually know it. Most of them know it. When you go and say coriander,
Mine knows it actually. The lady I buy
yes,
spices from, a certain
yeah,
Haji, she knows. She has even labeled them in English. Actually,
you see. They know it because it was my vendor, and my vendor taught us all the names and the uses on my channel, so they know it very well. So when you go, I'm sure they'll be able to give it to you. And then these are local spices. Okay, these are local spices that I've also blended. So this is quintia, pepper, calabash,
okay,
nutmeg. So
okay,
what we call the negro pepper, that long one,
yeah,
cloves, calabash, nutmeg, and then seeds of, I've forgotten the name, seeds of paradise. It's very
okay,
small,
okay.
tiny, tiny. So these are all also natural spices, and these are very powerful. This one we usually use for our Hausa cocoa.
Okay. I wonder
You
whether
know,
seeds of paradise is what we call sikoni in a way. But I'll look it up after this. I'll Google it and see what it looks like.
thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. So usually when you are making some spicy porridge, even you have your corn dough and you want to make some spicy porridge, you can add some pepper, some ginger, throw some of this in it, and then you have that spicy, porridge that tastes like Hausa cocoa, even without millet. Yes, and then the kelewele blend too. When you do your what do you call it, the ginger, pepper and onions, you can add a bit of this to it as well. It gives you that street kelewele style. And then I also have with me here herbs that I dried. Um, these are also very simple to make. These are herbs. These are herbs.
Okay.
So this is basil, it is mint, it is parsley, it is
Okay.
celery that I
Okay.
got from a local market. And these herbs are really affordable. When you go to the local market, you get lots of it for 1 CD or 2 CDs. So you can buy basil for 2 CDs and they give you a lot.
Okay.
Mint for 2 CDs, they give you a lot. So when you come, all you have to do is spread them out, put them in your oven. Last time I even tried some in my microwave and it worked. put them in your oven or microwave for, some few minutes, even the microwave 2 to 3 minutes, depending on how dry they are. And then you can easily just, use your hand to crush them without
What do
necessarily
you use it for? What do you use it to cook?
the herbs. Oh, all kinds of food. You can use it to spice your meat, your fish. When you want to grill some fish, you can add some to it, or your soups. It's very nice and it's very healthy.
Okay.
Yeah, it adds, it's just a very nice, taste and flavor. So every now and then you want to switch up the flavors a bit, because you're the same person probably cooking for the family. And
Yeah.
else you'll get separated and they'll be just tired, like every
Right.
day, this taste.
And the children won't want to take your food to school. They want to buy from
Exactly.
you because your food is too one way.
Yes. So having all this, every now and then you just put some in, not all the time, like you just add some just to change, the flavors a bit. Yeah. So you're the same person cooking, but they are appreciating different flavors and different tastes, yeah. So I guess we've said
We've said
almost everything. One last thing I also talk about is to find creative ways to use your leftover foods. Make sure that you're not throwing food away, because you are trying to save a lot of money. So you cook some rice, there's some leftover, maybe stew is finished. Do you leave it in there? No, just put it in the fridge. The next day, fry some onions, add some eggs to it, put your rice in there, and then if you want, just some soy sauce, and you have your fried
you have
rice.
fried rice. Yeah, yeah. I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So creative ways to store leftover also helps with busy, schedules and everything.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess that is it. If there are no
Yes,
questions.
yes. Thank you so much, Sianoki. And I, like I've said, she's a clinical psychologist. She's also a food blogger. Her channel is Dine with Sianoki. If you have not been there, kindly go check it out. Subscribe, and like her videos. Leave comments for her. Same way, if you haven't been to Baby Child and Co's YouTube channel, it's called Baby Child and Co. So please find it and subscribe. We talk about everything and anything that has to do with the health of your child. If there's something you want us to talk about, you just ask a question, and then the next time there's a video there for you. Okay. And thank you so much for joining. If you are even joining us on replay, you can still ask your questions. You can say your highs to us. You can say whatever you want to say, but importantly, please share and follow Baby Child and Co on Facebook, so that when we are doing anything, you will get to know. We also have a blog. Actually, the blog is our main business. It's also called babychildandco.com. Yeah, so we're everywhere, right? We're even on Instagram. We just want to bring child health education closer to you, because we realize that when we are informed, like I've been informed this afternoon. I mean, I don't make my own spices. I never even thought I could make it. Can you imagine? But now I know that I could make
Yeah.
it, and I can store it even for a year, those sort of things. That's what we want to do. We just want to bring a lot of choices to you, So now you can choose whether you want to buy your tomato that is preserved, or you can choose whether to make your own tomato. We want to give you the choice, and then hope that you make the right choices for your child. The right choice always depends on you anyway, because it depends on what is convenient to you. So Senna has given us a comment. She says that she'll try the tomato blend. We are so happy that we've inspired you to do that. So thank you everybody for joining. Still share, still ask a question, leave your comments for us. We thank you so much. And thank you, Sianoki, so much for all these things that you have talked to us about. A lot of which, or all of which, we absolutely love, and we hope that we are going to try them at home, because really it's such a struggle. You are a mother, you are working, you are a wife. Sometimes combining the wife and the mother alone is a job on its own. Outside the home, you have to deal with traffic and everything. It's extremely difficult. It's so difficult. That's why it's good that you have choices, and then as and when something is convenient to you, you can choose to do that one. So thank you. Bye. See you on our next live stream. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for having me.